Hello friends, I'm George, the nice medic gentleman. I'm a big lover of Thierry Mugler's Pure Havane and Jerjoff's Naxos. And since I love those two scents so much, I was really looking to get an alternative, cheap alternative to those two. And in the community, there's one particular fragrance that's very hyped up as a good alternative to those two. And the fragrance is called Insurrection 2 Wild by Ryan Tradition. So I was able to get my hands on a bottle of this one a few months ago, and in this video I'm going to tell you my opinion on whether Insurrection 2 is actually a good alternative to Pure Havane and Naxos. The box that the Insurrection 2 Wild comes packaged in looks like this. You got this sort of a brown and golden color combination. The whole presentation looks a little bit like a book to me, at least, in my mind. In order to open the box, you need to slide it like this. And once you do, as you can see, the actual bottle sits inside. And then this is how the bottle looks. It has this sort of quite a strange shape. It looks like, I don't know, like a skyscraper from Dubai or something like this. But one good thing is that it's quite a nice fit into your palm. The cap is made out of plastic and metal, has some heft to it. It's a snug fit. You can pick up the bottle through the cap itself. And all in all, the whole bottle has a nice weight to it and feels kind of good quality. And one interesting thing about this fragrance is the fact that the bottle size is 90 milliliters. Before I talk about the scent profile of Insurrection 2 Wild, I'd really ask you, if you enjoy my videos, if you enjoy my work, hit that subscribe button, help me grow my channel by hitting the subscribe button, because that will mean a lot to me. Okay, let's show you the spray in action, and then I'll talk about the scent of this fragrance. The sprayer is quite decent. Now, there's not, I couldn't find a real note breakdown about this fragrance, but on Fragrantica there are a bunch of notes listed. And they are the following. You have tobacco, honey, vanilla, tonka bean, spicy notes, woodsy notes, and cacao. Now, immediately after spraying this fragrance, what you get is hit in your face by a combination of tobacco and honey. That's exactly what you get immediately after spraying this fragrance. There are a touch of spiciness somewhere in the background, but this is not a spicy fragrance at all. Once this starts to dry down, to my nose, it becomes a little bit sweeter. You start to pick up a touch of that vanilla. The tonka bean starts to become really prominent on the dry down of this fragrance. It has sort of a slightly powdery feel, at least to my nose. There's some oud somewhere in the background, and the tobacco note starts to take more of a backseat, more of a support role on the dry down. So, as I said in the beginning of this video, this fragrance is known for being a good alternative to Pure Havane by Mugler and Naxos by Jerjoff. And definitely that those two fragrances are famous for that honey and tobacco combination. And you can immediately, if you know those two fragrances, you immediately pick up the similarities between them and Insurrection 2 Wild. Now, as onto the question how close this will get you to the original scents, I would say that this is closer to Pure Havane, but definitely not a straight up clone. It will get you somewhat close, but not like super close. Also, because the tobacco note in here is not super strong on the dry down, especially, I also pick up a lot of similarities between this and Naxos as well. So all in all, I think this is a quite an interesting and good alternative to especially Pure Havane, but also Naxos. When we talk about the performance of Insurrection 2 Wild, now this is not a beast mode fragrance, but it's not a weak fragrance. Again, I get somewhere, I would say about 8 hours, somewhere between 7.5 to 8 hours of performance out of Insurrection 2 Wild. But one thing that some people may find a little bit disappointing is the fact that this is a sort of a softer projecting fragrance. It projects sort of moderately for about hour and a half. When we talk about the price, this usually is a very cheap fragrance. It goes for somewhere between $25 to $35, and I think this is a pretty nice deal. When we talk about how versatile this fragrance is, of course that tonka bean, vanilla, honey, and tobacco combination, when you hear it, you usually imagine that this thing will be suited for cold weather. and that's the case here. But because it's not super sweet, the fragrance itself, it also can work in warmer weather as long as you don't overspray it and you wear it at night. And then at the end of the video, my final thoughts about Insurrection 2 Wild and whether it's actually worth checking out. As I said in the beginning of the video, I'm a big time lover of both Pure Havane and Naxos, and I was really looking for a cheap alternative to those two fragrances. And since Insurrection 2 Wild was really hyped up, I was really looking forward to getting my hands onto a bottle of this fragrance. And I can say that I'm definitely not disappointed by this one. It's a nice, cheap alternative to Pure Havane and Naxos, and will get you quite close to a Pure Havane. So, is it worth checking out? If you like Pure Havane, if you like Naxos, and like me, you're looking for a cheap alternative to those two, I think definitely Insurrection 2 Wild deserves some attention. Also, if you have heard good things about Naxos and Pure Havane, but you've never smelled them, but you want to try that DNA, that combination, that famous combination of tobacco and honey, again, I think Insurrection 2 Wild is definitely a nice choice for you to try out that DNA. From me, this fragrance gets a huge like, simply because I absolutely love the original DNA. So guys, in today's video, I showed you Insurrection 2 Wild by Ryan Tradition, and I told you my honest opinion on whether this fragrance is actually worth checking out. I hope that you found this video interesting or helpful. If you did, give it a like, and I really hope that I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye bye.